Now we are going to deal about the topic cyber security. I am Ramya, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science. Now we will move into the topic cyber security. First, we are going to see about the meaning of computer security. The meaning of the term computer security has evolved in recent years. Before the problem of data security became widely publicized in the media, most people's idea of computer security focused on the physical machine. Traditionally, computer facilities have been physically protected for three reasons: to protect theft of or damage to the hardware, to protect theft of or damage to the information, to protect disruption of service. Next, computer security. It is a security applied to a computing devices such as computers and smartphones, as well as computer networks such as private and public networks, including the whole internet. The field covers all the processes and the mechanisms by which digital equipment, information and the services are protected from unintended or unauthorized access, change or destruction, and are of growing importance in line with the increasing reliance on computer systems of most societies worldwide. It includes physical security to prevent the theft of equipment and information security to protect the data on that equipment. It is sometimes referred to as cyber security or IT security, though these terms generally do not refer to a physical security. Next, important terms in cyber security. First, we are going to see about vulnerability. It is a weakness which allows an attacker to reduce the system's information assurance. It is the intersection of three elements: a system susceptibility or flaw, attacker access to the flaw, and the attacker capability to exploit the flaw. To exploit vulnerability, an attacker must have at least one applicable tool or a technique that can connect to a system weakness. In this frame, vulnerability is also known as the attack surface. Vulnerability management is a cyclical practice of identifying, classifying, remediating, and mitigating vulnerabilities. This practice generally refers to software vulnerabilities in computing systems. It is nothing but it is a weakness in the systems, or any weakness in the network or the systems. Next one is backdoor. Another term used in cybersecurity is a backdoor. A backdoor in a computer system is a method of bypassing normal authentication, securing remote access to a computer, obtaining access to a plain text, and so on, while attempting to remain undetected. The backdoor may take the form of an installed program, or could be a modification to an existing program or a hardware device. It may also fake information about the disk and the memory usage. Next one is DOS and DDoS. DOS means denial of service, and DDoS means distributed denial of service. Unlike other exploits, denials of service attacks are not used in gain unauthorized access or control of a system. They are instead designed to render it unusable. Then attackers can deny service to individual victims, such as by deliberately entering a wrong password enough consecutive times to cause the victim account to be locked, or they may overload the capabilities of a machine or network and block all the users at once. These types of attack are in practice very hard to prevent, because the behavior of the whole networks need to be analyzed, not only the behavior of the small pieces of code. Distributed denial of service attacks are common, where a large number of compromised hosts are used to flood a target system with network request, thus attempting to render it unusable through resource exhaustion. Next is direct access attacks. An unauthorized user gaining a physical access to a computer can perform many functions, install different types of devices to compromise security, including operating system modifications, software worms, keyloggers, and convert listening devices. The attacker can also easily download large quantities of data onto a backup media, for instance CD read and DVD read tape, or portable devices such as key drives, digital cameras, or digital audio players. Another common technique is to boot an operating system contained on a CD-ROM or other bootable media and read the data from the hard drive this way. The only way to defeat this is to encrypt the storage media and store the key separate from the system. Direct access attacks are the only type of threat to standalone computers in most cases. Next one is eavesdropping. Eavesdropping is the act of listening to a private conversation, typically between the hosts on a network. And next one is spoofing. Spoofing of user identities describes a situation in which one person or program successfully masquerades as another by falsifying data and thereby gaining an illegitimate advantage. Next term is tampering. Tampering describes an intentional modification of products in a way that would make them harmful to a consumer. Next is repudiation. Repudiation means a situation where the authenticity of a signature is being challenged. Next one is information disclosure. Information disclosure describes a situation where the information thought as secure is released in an untrusted environment. Next one is elevation of privilege. Elevation of privilege describes a situation where a person or a program want to gain elevated privilege or access to resources that are normally restricted to him. Next is one is exploit. Exploit means damage. An exploit is a piece of software, a chunk of data, or a sequence of commands that takes the advantage of a software bug or glitch in order to cause the unintended or unanticipated behavior to occur on computer software, hardware, or something electronic. This frequently includes such things as gaining control of a computer system or allowing privilege escalation or a denial of service attack. The term exploit generally refers to a small programs designed to take advantage of a software flaw that has been discovered either remote or local. The code from the exploit program is frequently reused in Trojan horses and computer viruses. Next is indirect attacks. An indirect attack is an attack launched by a third-party computer. By using someone else's computer to launch an attack, it becomes far more difficult to track down the actual attacker. There have been cases where the attackers took the advantage of public anonymizing systems such as the Tor Onion router system. Next one is computer crime. Computer crime refers to any crime that involves a computer and a network. Next one is principles of security. First principle is confidentiality. The principle of confidentiality specifies that only the sender and the intended recipient should be able to access the content of the message. Next one is access control. Access control specifies and control who can access what. Next is availability. It means that assets are accessible to authorized parties at appropriate times. Then integrity. The confidential information sent by A to B, which is accessed by C without the permission or knowledge of A and B. Then authentication. Authentication mechanism helps in establishing proof of identification. Next is attacks. Attacks, we want our security system to make sure that no data are disclosed to unauthorized parties. Data should not be modified in illegitimate ways. Legitimate user can access the data. Then the types of attacks. The attacks are divided into two types. One is positive attack and another one is active attack. First one is passive attack. Passive attack means it does not involve any modifications to the contents of an original message. Active attacks, the contents of the original message are modified in some ways. In passive attack, the contents are not modified, whereas in active attacks, the contents are modified. So it is coined as the term active attacks. Then top 10 cyber security prevention tips. So long we have seen how the cyber crime occurs and what are the ways in which the cyber crime occurs. Now we are going to see how the cyber crime can be prevented, and here comes the tips towards the cyber crime prevention. First one is use a strong passwords. We should use a strong passwords. Use a different user ID or password combinations for different accounts and avoid writing them down. Make the passwords more complicated by combining letters, numbers, special characters and change them on a regular basis. The PIN number or the password have to be modified often so that the password cannot be hacked by or attacked by any attacker. Next one is secure your system. Activate your firewall. Activate your firewall. Firewalls are the first line of cyber defense. They block connections to unknown or bogus sites and will keep out some types of viruses and hackers. Use antivirus or malware software. Prevent the viruses from infecting your computer by installing and regularly updating antivirus software. Block spyware attacks. Prevent spyware from infiltrating your computer by installing and updating spyware software. Then be social media savvy. Make sure your social networking profiles are set to private. Check your security settings. Be careful what information you post online. Once it is on the internet, it is there forever. So don't post all the information about your personal, most particularly your personal information, to some other person, or don't expose your personal data in online. Next one is the secure your mobile devices. You should protect your mobile devices. Don't allow everything into the mobile devices. Block them so that your mobile device won't get attacked by any person. Be aware that your mobile devices are vulnerable to viruses and hackers. Download the applications from the trusted sources. Install the latest operating system updates. Keep your applications and operating system current with the latest system updates. Turn on the automatic updates to prevent potential attacks on older software. It is necessary to install and update the software most often, so that the latest versions or the latest updates may not allow the viruses to enter into a system or enter into your network. Next one is protect your data. Use encryption for your most sensitive files such as tax returns or financial records. Make regular backups of all your important data and store it in another location. You should protect your data. You can back up your sensitive data and your personal information in secured way, so that some other person may not hack your data or may not theft your data. Next one is secure your wireless network. Wi-Fi networks at home are vulnerable to intrusion if they are not properly secured. Review and modify the default settings. Public Wi-Fi hotspots are also vulnerable. Avoid conducting financial or corporate transactions on these networks. So don't browse most often on the free Wi-Fi, since many users are there to use the free Wi-Fi. There may be a chances to attack your data through that free Wi-Fi. Next one is protect your e-identity. Be cautious when giving out personal information such as your name, address, phone number, or financial information on the internet. Make sure that the sites are secure or that you have enabled the privacy settings. It is very necessary to change your settings according to your privacy things. In order to protect your privacy, you have to follow some privacy settings so that you get protected. Next one is avoid being scammed. Always think before you click on a link or a file of unknown origin. Don't click any link on your own. Be aware that before clicking your link, so that you will be protected from unnecessary financial loss or unnecessary privacy information. Don't be panic. Call the right person for help. If you have encountered any problem through online, don't get feared. Get help from some persons whom you know. So don't be panic. If you are a victim, if you can encounter illegal internet content, or if you suspect a computer crime, identity theft, or a commercial scam, report this to your local police. If you need help with the maintenance or software installation on your computer, consult with your service provider or a certified computer technicians. So get help from a proper authorized person, proper authenticated person, certified persons, so that you and your data gets protected. Thank you.